Hello and welcome, my name is Eric and today I want to give you my review of the brand new DJI Osmo Mobile 2. It's a $129 gimbal that is a significant price reduction from the original Osmo Mobile that was $299. Despite the price reduction, they did not take away any features. In fact, they did add a couple. Most notable is the ability to balance in portrait mode, which is going to be great for live streaming to your favorite platforms. At the end of this video, I'm going to have some example footage so that way you can see how well it does stabilize. But first, let's go to the unboxing. This nice little styrofoam. I think it's supposed to be a permanent case though. Nice and matte black, but it's pretty much styrofoam. Just gonna open this up. Ooh, I just hit the camera a little bit, my bad. And I'm not entirely sure how permanent this is supposed to be, but I don't have a case for it, so I'm gonna keep using it. I mean, this is good hard plastic, so I mean it'll last as long as I take care of it. Probably not very weather resistant. Got some USB cables here. I assume that is going to be for charging. RIP autofocus. Come on. And now we have an initial setup. Now you don't want to do what I did in this video because I made a lot of mistakes, and we're going to talk about that after you check it out. So here we go. Some mistakes I made with that is, one, you want to remove your case. Now I know this seems pretty obvious. I have used gimbals before, but it was late, I was tired, I just wanted to get it done because I was excited to check it out, and that's what we did. So you do not want to have a case on there. The reason is that this can have a significant impact on the balancing of your phone within the gimbal while it is powered off. The unit does come with instructions as well as videos to show you how to do that in both portrait and landscape mode. That is one of the downsides. If you do want to switch frequently from portrait to landscape, you will need to rebalance it each time. As you get better and better at it, you will be able to do this more quickly, but if you've never used a gimbal before, or if you are going to be switching frequently, be prepared to have some patience. If you've ever used a gimbal, it's pretty much like you expect. You have two knobs on the back to help adjust and balance your arm. On the front of the handle, you do have a power on or mode button. You have a record or capture button, a joystick to control the arm. On the right hand side, you have a micro USB port to help charge the gimbal. There are no removable batteries in this, so do keep that in mind, but there is supposed to be up to 15 hours of battery life. On the left-hand side, you have a slider to zoom in and out. And as far as I can tell, based off any documentation, this is purely digital. So if you do have a phone that does have two cameras, as far as I can tell, again, it does not actually switch between the two. On the bottom of the handle, you do have a 1/4-20 thread, so you can attach it to any tripod. On the back of the handle, you do have a full USB-A port, and this is supposed to be used to charge your phone. If you are planning to charge your phone using the gimbal, and you do have a phone that has a camera in the upper right hand corner and the charge port on the bottom, and you want to use the rear facing camera, you may find that your camera does get obstructed by the arm occasionally. However, if you're using the front facing camera, this really isn't an issue. The gimbal itself is pretty flexible. You have three different modes. You have upright, upside down, and then you also have what they call flashlight mode. This is great for getting those low shots. The mode button on the front of the handle will dictate how the arm handles your camera. What I mean by that is that in one mode, the gimbal arm will keep your camera facing the same direction no matter what. No matter how you turn the handle or tilt the gimbal in any way, it's always going to be facing the same direction. Whereas in the other mode, it's more of a cinematic type mode, where if you turn the handle, then it's going to make nice smooth transitions from one direction to the other. It's also how you can get the gimbal to face down or up if you need shots like that. This gimbal interacts with the DJI Go app, which is available for iOS as well as Android. So some of the best features of this gimbal are hyperlapse, like this. You can also do a motion time lapse like this. What's really cool about that is that all you have to do is you select your starting point, your ending point, and you can even pick a point in between, and then the gimbal will automatically go to the starting point, start the recording, and go from there. You do have options as far as how frequently it takes the pictures, as well as how long you want that time lapse to be. So the lowest it goes is 30 seconds, it goes up to a minute, then 5 minutes, and then up from there. One of the best features for this is tracking. And you can do tracking with both the front and rear facing cameras, and it actually does a very, very good job keeping track of you no matter where you move. Even if you look away from the camera for a little bit, it'll still keep you tracked. The tracking feature is excellent if you're going to be doing any sort of cooking shows, selling stuff, how-to videos. All you got to do is you attach your gimbal to your tripod, tell it to track you, and you go from there. The one challenge that I have found is that if you are doing this completely on your own, you can't really tell it to track you when you're not in front of the camera. So you would need somebody there to hit the button on your phone to tell you what it needs to track. Yeah. This app does have a lot of bugs. This is what I was talking about before with talking about being patient. There are some updates that can come out, and I'm sure they're going to get improved over time, but as it is right now, which I did update to the latest, which I believe was version 2.2 point something or another, there are a lot of unusual bugs. I couldn't even get through the actual tutorial that it goes through to show you that because it didn't register that certain things are happening. For example, when you switch from photo mode to camera mode, usually the camera options on the right hand side will change. So when you're in picture mode, it'll give you like panoramic options. Whereas when you're in video mode, you can pick things like the resolution, frame rate, things like that. However, when you're in video mode and go to slow motion, it shows you the panoramic options instead of telling you whether you're in 720p or 1080p. Before I updated the app, when I initially did it, it gave me those options. After I did the update, those options are no longer there. It could be a bug just with my app, but I tried to do some quick troubleshooting and was unable to resolve it. Some other unusual bugs are with the operation. For example, when you're using the joystick, by default, up is up, down is down, and there is an option to invert that. But by default, again, rear camera, up is up, down is down. Front facing camera, it's inverted, so up is down is up. But if you're doing the face tracking in front facing mode, then it goes back to up is up and down to down. These are things that you can learn and get used to, but it's still frustrating when you're learning, and it just steepens the learning curve for this product. The other unusual thing with using the camera in the slow motion mode is that it kept trying to focus and would cause a lot of what is known as lens breathing, where it would see like it'd have like a Batman Begins type of effect when they're on those drugs, you know what I'm talking about? It's just like going in and out, and it kind of gives you a headache. I found myself when doing slow motion using the native camera app that comes on the iPhone. The gimbal still functions normally outside of the DJI Go app, so it actually is perfectly fine to do that. When it comes down to it, for $129, you are getting an excellent value, a great tool that does have a bit of a steep learning curve, but that curve could be lessened by updates and bug fixes and things like that. This product is for anybody who likes to do vlogging, live streaming, if you're trying to add some really nice B-roll with the high definition at 120 frames, anything like that. It's really, really great, especially for the price point. That's going to be it for this review. If you did like it, hit that like button. If you do have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. If you want to see more content, hit that subscribe button. Always remember to love yourself, and I cannot wait to share the next video with you. So this is testing out the tracking capabilities on selfie mode, or front-facing camera, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes doing this stuff is super annoying. Gotta wait on people. I don't mind waiting on people. When they're not doing anything and they can see that you're trying to do something, and then they're just like, I don't care. It's like, wow,
Thanks.